Hi, I'm Saundra. Thanks for stopping by. I'm sharing with you today page 1 of a 2-page layout. I'll set aside the other photos for now and lay them out another day. The cardstock I'll be using is by Felicity Jane on the left and 3 from Carta on the right. The black cardstock is from my stash and the whitewash background page is by Coordinations. I chose the mix of warm colors based on what I'm wearing in the photo and how I felt at the time. The first few layers I felt are for the layers and layers and layers of clothing I'm wearing, and the bright flowers and the horizontal lines are my mood. The photo was taken in January 1989 by my now husband, who proposed to me on Christmas Eve the month before. So, for someone who never wanted to get married, I have to say I was pretty happy about the whole thing. And I think that this is the most color I've ever placed in any layout. I'm doing something a little different in this video. I'm playing background music. So whenever I'm not talking, you'll hear background music. And do let me know how you feel about it. Your feedback is most appreciated. I did a test using Tim Holtz lace trimmings and his vintage photo distress stain just to see what it would look like, because I really want to frame my photo with the lace and the white wasn't working for me. Sometimes it's really nice to go ahead and do a test strip because the lace is really pretty and I wouldn't want to waste it. And it goes on very dark, but when it dries, it's the prettiest shade of like a vintage brown. So you can see how dark it is while it's wet. And you'll see it when it's dried in just a few minutes. Normally I use a trimmer whenever I'm cutting paper because I really can't cut straight, but because I'm planning on distressing the first 3 layers, it doesn't have to be exactly straight, and it'll look better if it's not perfectly straight. And I'm using Tim Holtz's distress trimmer to de-stress the edges, and that ruler is from Creative Memories. It's really old. I've been trying to dig into my stash of supplies and paper, tools, everything that I haven't been using. This is one of them, and just start using them. And it came out, it was perfect for this particular layout. This distress tool is really great, and it helps it go by pretty fast, and it really gives me exactly what I'm looking for. But if you don't have any sort of a distress tool, you can always use your scissors. You kind of open it up and scrape along the page, and it'll give you a similar effect. At first I thought I would take the second layer and have the curve going in the opposite direction, but I didn't really like the way it was looking, so I switched it back around so that all the distress would be coming in the same direction, and I think it looks much nicer with it all coming forward and not with one of them going back. I really like this tool. As much as I like the whitewash background paper, it's not working for me. It's not going as well as I like with the other pages. So I'm fooling around with the Felicity Jane papers at her collection, and just to see what it would look like with one of them. And I really like the stripe paper, but I go through everything and just want to, see what works until I find something. So I hadn't planned on staining the edges of this flowered paper because against the whitewash paper it popped out just fine, but against the stripes it's kind of blending into the background, so I really needed something to help separate the two. And nothing's staying in my hands today. Everything's like flying out of it. So anyway, putting this stain on it really worked out well. So what am I wearing in this particular page, in this photo? None of the clothes in this photo I don't think are mine. The coat I swiped from my brother Gary along with the sweater, and he eventually gave me the sweater because he said it just didn't work for him anymore. I'm wearing my husband's shoes and his socks. The pants are actually mine, and that duffel bag belongs to my husband. And underneath that coat I'm wearing a turtleneck of my husband's and some other things, and I cannot remember for the life of me why I'm not wearing my own clothing. But I did have this little habit back then of going through my family's closets and saying, "You don't want this, do you?" Or "Can I have this?" And or "Can I borrow this forever?" And somehow it would end up with me. And it was the 80s, and it was a really cool outfit back then. Anyway, so now I'm getting to lay down the lace, and it goes on really well, and it's going to turn out really nice. You can see how vintage brown the lace came out. I was really happy with this. So I decided to use washi tape on each of the corners just to give it a little more strength and holding down the lace a bit. So I decided to change the title from Flirt to Engaged. And maybe I'll put Flirt on the other sister page with the other photos. The black strips that I'm adding in are called Fun Foam, and I'm putting them between two of the layers just to pop it up a bit more, and also to leave space in case I want to stick anything underneath those two layers and have it come out from the side or something, like that little green tree on the right. Feel like whenever I'm working on a layout, it starts to take me wherever the layout wants to go, so to speak. Not that the layout is thinking, that would be scary, but I find myself sometimes doing things that aren't in my plan, and I think that's just the way art works. You know, you have a plan and then it takes you in a different direction. And so even just the littlest thing of curling up the edges of the flowered paper makes a big difference in the layout and a nice statement, and I think it really adds to it. So that beautiful green tree to the right is by Say It With Crystals, and I got it a long time ago, and I really liked it, and I keep trying it in layouts and it never works. But I think this is the layout that tree is going to fit in, because it's the perfect colors, it marries well with this, and I really want it in this layout. So anyway, let's see what happens. I thought about cutting out some of this fooling around with the embellishments that I do for the next 8 minutes. And I do this for about 8 minutes, just switching back and forth and trying to figure out what I want where. But I changed my mind because when you scrapbook, things don't always just, at least not for me, they don't just always come together that easy. And so I have to, I play with it, and I keep getting ideas, and there's my fingers tapping. I never realized how much my fingers tap when I'm thinking, but that's why my fingers tap, I'm thinking. Hopefully I can learn to think without that. But anyway, I'm switching everything back and forth and here and there, mainly because I want to put certain things, or I plan to put certain things on this particular layout, like the washi tape and that giant heart. I like that heart, I like the washi tape. I thought the washi tape would help the black that's in the layout already pop out a bit more, but it just wasn't working for me, and so that never made it. I'm taking the tree up now, and I'm using my little multi-purpose tool from Creative Memories, and it actually comes up pretty easy, and it's really sticky. My biggest concern, because I've had it for so long, was that it wasn't going to be sticky anymore, and it worked perfectly. And I only lost one of the little leaves, which I end up putting on in a minute or so, and it works out just fine. So here I am, still fussing with the layout and moving things around. But once I start, making a decision here and there, it starts to move along. Not as slow as it's moving right now, but I do finish it. You get to see it, and it comes out really nice. And as for journaling, I don't put it on this page. The sister page will have the journaling. All the photos were taken the same day. We were visiting Baltimore from New York and having a great time sightseeing in my hometown. My letters are thickers. They're Fitzgerald glitter gold. They're really nice. My brads, they're all by My Mind's Eye. Did you see that fly across the room? Wow. Anyway, the brads are from My Mind's Eye. And the hearts are pink Paislee. And so they're all different collections, but they're all married together really well. And I'm determined to go through my stash and use as much stuff as possible. And in about 6 months of doing these videos, I'll clean out my stash and see what I haven't gone near and what I know I'll never use, and clean it out and donate it. You can probably tell I really like these hearts, and I'm trying desperately to put as many of them on this page as possible. I'd like to have at least 3, and I really want the larger of the hearts on there somewhere, but wherever I put it, it's covering up the roses a bit too much, more than what I like to have it do. it's kind of funny because as I'm looking at where things are ending up, they're kind of going where I first thought in my head, what I saw in my head, of where I wanted them to be. I don't know why I didn't just do that from the very beginning, but I don't know. Scrapbooking doesn't always work that way. I also think that when you start scrapbooking, you get all these other ideas and you start, pulling out your embellishments. You just start seeing more than one particular idea or place where something can go, and you just bounce it all over the page. And that's kind of what I did with this layout, and it's literally 10 minutes of my fooling around with this. And another reason I wanted to show you that is because things don't always go as smooth as you want it to go when you're scrapbooking. But you'll get there. In this case, I'll get there. I will finish this and make a decision. And I don't think placing the embellishments in any of the places that I've tried them out at is a bad decision or wrong or anything like that. I think what makes me decide where I want something to be is how it feels and how it looks to my eye in the end. And I don't want too much on this page because the paper's very busy. The flowers are busy. The prints on the other papers are pretty busy. And so I can't really overload it with stuff. But I also don't want to leave it empty. So it's kind of a tug of war of just having just enough to look at the page and say, it's finished. And I'm truly almost there. Did you see that? I got a heart down, and I'm putting another one down. Yay! And the crowd goes crazy. I'm almost to the end. Okay, a little bit more gold. In just a few minutes, I will say done. And I really like the way this turned out. It really is the most colorful layout that I think I've ever done. And I really, really like it. Anyway, what's up next for me is Gone to the Beach Part 3. And I am done. Thank you very much. See you next time.